3D Fish Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I made this fishing nail that has a fish actually dangling off the end as a charm. So I hope you like this video and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. I'm going to start by forming my nail bed and my smile line, and I want my smile line to have a really deep V shape, so it kind of parallels the shape of my nail. So I'm using a cover pink and I'm just going to pull the sides down until it forms that nice V shape I'm looking for. And then adding another bead up top to the cuticle to smooth that down and create a nice rounded nail bed. And also I'm going to add another bead over the top because I really want a nice ledge going on for my smile line so that there's a nice crisp line between the nail bed and the tip. So now to form my tip, I'm going to begin by filling in the top section with a dark glittery blue. I'm going to have a gradient, so I'm going to have the dark color at the top. I'm just going to brush that down a little bit, and then I'm going to just touch it up a little bit, bring it up nice into the corners, and brush it down again. Then add a little bit more on the other side. And now for the tip, I'm going to use a very heavily glittered teal color. So this is pretty much 100% glitter and it's very, very pretty. And so I'm just going to fill in the tip with that, blending it up towards the darker blue. And I'm trying to keep this entire tip a little bit on the thin side just so that it doesn't get entirely too thick all together at the end. I'm going to put down the smallest amount of clear acrylic and then take a piece of black thread and hold it down on the center until that clear acrylic you have has begun to set. And then I'm going to take some more clear acrylic and just go over the top of that piece of thread a little bit just to tack it into place. I'm going to trim my piece of thread so that it just goes right up to the point of my nail bed, but it doesn't go over. And then I'm going to encase the nail to protect all of that glitter on the tip, smooth it out, and also hold the piece of thread into place. So I'm using small sections of clear instead of trying to do this in one or two larger beads. And the reason I'm trying to do this is because the piece of thread may move on you and you don't want it to move and then have a whole bunch of acrylic on there that you're trying to manage. So if you do it in small sections, monitoring your thread to make sure it stays in place, it's going to be a lot easier and you're probably going to have better results. And also make sure that you add a nice strong apex so that your nail has some strength. Since we're not doing any 3D art, you need to make sure that your nail looks really good before you file it. Or after you file it, sorry. So now we're filing it with a 180 grit file, and this is to remove any big areas that are lumpy or bumpy or just not quite right, and making sure it's nice and thin at the tip and nice and thin at the cuticle. And make sure you do not file the thread. You can file around the thread, but make sure you don't file the thread because you're going to weaken it. And then buff over the nail with a padded buffer, and this one is 240 grit. And just like with the file, you don't want to buff the thread either because you don't want to weaken it. You want to make sure that it has nice strength. And then trim off your thread so it's the length that you're looking for. And then on the nail form backing, I'm going to sculpt my fish with some pink acrylic just on the end of that thread. It doesn't need to go in the fish very far, but enough where it's going to hang on and the fish isn't going to just fall off either. So I'm going to first create his body in sort of an eye shape or a football shape. And then with orange, I'm going to add his tail. And his lips. So for his lips, it's two small circular beads that are just sort of pressed on there that give him that fish lip face very easily. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit more pink over his body because I noticed I could see the black thread through the pink a little bit and I don't want to be able to see it. So I wanted to make sure that that was nice and opaque. And then I'm going to add a circular white eye on him. And then after I had gotten this far, I realized that he needed an upper fin. So I'm going to add that in just a moment. So yeah, so I'm just going to place a small yellow bead down and then pull it into a triangle shape. I'm going to add some sequins over the back of my fish, so I put down some top coat and then I'm just going to place down some little hexagon sequins on the back to make him look scaly and kind of sparkly. And then I'm going to repeat the steps on the back of my fish. And the reason you want to do this is because after you pull him off of the nail form backing, when he's set, he's going to be flat on one side and nice and dimensional on the other. So you don't want that. You want him to be dimensional and cute on both sides. So just add some acrylic on his back. And this is also going to give him a lot more strength because otherwise he was pretty thin. So if you add some more acrylic on the back, basically repeating the exact same steps, then he's going to be stronger and cuter and altogether better. So then add his eye, and I didn't show sequins, but also give him a sequence and a pupil, and then apply gel sealer over the top of your nail and your fish. But don't get too much of the gel sealer on the thread itself or it's going to get very stiff. And then cure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this design. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!